Hello, welcome to episode 186 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea where I sell my handspun yarns, and we have a Ravelry group called The Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? It is Sunday, June 10th. It is sweltering outside in the mid-90s, and we are having a pretty good weekend. Yesterday we both exercised some and went out a little bit, and then last night we watched Thor Ragnarok on TV at home, or through Netflix, I think. And other than that, I've been crafting and just taking it easy this weekend. I did some new things this week. I tried a high-intensity interval training class on Wednesday, which was absolutely crazy. It is a serious exercise class, and this one goes for 30 minutes over the lunch hour, and I really barely made it through. I think I'm probably going to go back this week and try it again, but it was not for the faint of heart. And then I did some walking. I'm trying to get my distances up because Wes planned a vacation for us for next summer, so summer 2019, going to Ireland, which is super exciting, but it is kind of an exercise trip. There is a morning run walk each day of anywhere between 5K and 10K. So I have to get myself in shape before we go. So that will be a running, no pun intended, running theme for this year. So that is what I am working on when I'm not crafting. It's taking some exercise classes and getting out and doing more, which of course is not great in the summer heat, but working on that, getting up early in some mornings so that I can get out before it's hot. So that is what I'm working on there. The other interesting issue we've had is that we have had a bunch of hail and wind damage to our roof. So this past week we had an insurance agent come out and we are getting a new roof. Luckily insurance is going to help us with that. But so this week I am interviewing roofers and taking bids on our new roof, and we're going to try and do that fairly quickly because as of the last big storm, we now have a little bit of a leak. So that's kind of the exciting news here, other than the crafting, although I have been getting a lot of crafting done, so I'm excited to show you what I do. This week I made up a new pot of iced tea, and I used Harney & Sons Cranberry Autumn. It's black tea with cranberry and orange. I have reviewed this one before. I like this. I know it's an autumn tea, but I thought it might be nice for a summer. It's just a black tea with a little bit of spice, and I'm drinking that in my Llama Love mug. And it is delicious. So that is the tea. Let's move on to the knits. So I have a couple finished knits and one work in progress to show you. The first knit that I finished is a review knit. I talked to you, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Let's see where I put the label. I was reviewing some U.S. organic cotton from Appalachian Baby Designs. So that is the label, and I was using their U.S. Organic Cotton Sport Weight with Earth-Friendly dye, and as you might remember, I was given a set of 3. The colors were Natural, Silver, and Blush, and I decided to knit a little dress for Roxy. The pattern is called Zippy, and it is by Valerie Morris, and I finished it last night. I went to Joann's to get a little ribbon because it is basically the top part is done with a ribbon, and then here is the dress, as you can see. It is super cute. It looks super tiny. I'm hoping it's gonna fit her. She will be 5 in the fall, and I knit the 3 to 4 size because my gauge was a little bit off, and the 5-6 looked enormous, and she is not an enormous kid. So I'm hoping that this will fit her. My hope had originally been that it would fit her as a dress this year and maybe a tunic next year. I don't know whether it will be wide enough around to really do that, but honestly it was a fun pattern, and I wouldn't mind doing it again. So like I said, my colors are, it's so blown out. My colors are pink, silver, and white, and to me it almost feels like It almost feels like it looks like Neapolitan ice cream. I knit the dress a couple stripes longer than it suggested, hoping maybe she'd get a little bit of extra wear out of it. And then I hand washed it, although the label says that you can machine wash and dry, and I expect my sister to do that. But it wasn't drying fast enough, so I stuck it in the dryer this morning, and it came out super soft and lovely. I really enjoyed working with this yarn. It was a little splitty, but cotton sometimes is. Otherwise, it had a nice hand. It was really nice to work with, and I think it gives like nice stitch definition, and it's just really pretty. So, and it's super soft. I hope this will be a good dress for her to wear all summer. So that one will go off in the mail to her this week. And the ribbon can obviously be shortened, or I have more ribbon in case I didn't cut it wide enough. I followed what the pattern instructions said. So that is one off the needles. As I said, I really enjoyed working with the yarn. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for an organic cotton. They do have some darker colors, although lots of their colors end up fairly light shades, closer to natural. But they do have some other colors, so I would definitely recommend them. And as it turns out, I actually have a set to give away. There will be a giveaway on my blog this week as soon as I post the review, which I believe will be on Tuesday. I will promote it on Instagram, but to win, you will have to go leave a comment on the blog. So follow the instructions, keep an eye out if you want to win your own set of 3. A set of 3 is 600 yards, and I needed about a little over 500 to do this particular dress. So, yes. So the second thing that I finished this week, and it's a small thing, is a little whale. This is Wasabi the Whale, and it is a pattern by Susan Claudino, and it is for a little stuffed whale. I wanted to send a little something to Miles to go so that he'd have something when Roxy got her dress, and I wanted to, we also have a birthday party coming up for a 1-year-old this week, so I'm actually going to knit a second one. The yarn that I used is Dream in Color Classy, and it is in the bedtime colorway, which is sort of a variegated blue. You can kind of see a little bit of that. Well, not a variegated, sorry, a semi-solid or tonal. And this pattern was super easy, super cute. I knit it up in just a couple nights. Susan Claudino really writes amazing little toy patterns. The details that she puts into her pattern make it so easy to knit. For instance, in the rows where the eyes are supposed to be and the rows where the fins are supposed to be, she has you put in some purl stitches to mark where you're going to put those. Isn't that genius? So many other patterns just say place the eyes where you want them, and then you end up like trying to place the eyes and trying to make them equidistant and not look completely awkward, and I always get one a little higher than the other, and it's a pain in the butt. And here she tells you exactly which stitches to purl, and then you just go back and you put your little fins on the side and your little eyes exactly where she tells you to put them, so they're perfect. So this is a really cute pattern. It used about 80 yards, so technically I can make 3 from my Dream in Color Classy because it is 250 yards, and I'm going to make another one this week, hopefully get a picture of both of them before I mail them out, just because I think it would be fun to have 2 next to each other. And then send these out. So this is Wasabi the Whale by Susan Claudino. I give it excellent marks. It is a great little knit if you're looking for a quick toy to knit. Just a little bit of polyfill, not too much fussy stuff. The tail fins you got to do a little bit of extra stuff for, but they are all basically, well, the 2 tail fins are worked as part of the body, and then the others you sew on. So that is Wasabi the Whale. So the third thing I only half finished this week, but I finished my first sock. These are plain vanilla socks. This is Rumpus and Oleander, Rumpus being the variegated one and Oleander being the bright pink. And this is Northbound Knitting yarn, and the yarns came together, and it is her, I believe, 75-25 base. And it is super soft and delightful to work with. I am making myself a pair, and I'm hoping that I will then have enough of the hot pink to make Roxy a pair that match mine, because I think she'd love these. If I don't have enough of the hot pink, I will just make her the variegated ones anyway, because I should definitely have enough for that. But I don't know if I'll have enough of the oleander to do both, or maybe I'll just do like heel and toe or something. So that is the first sock. So plans for this week include another wasabi, a second sock so I can finish these, and then I think I'm going to try and pick up my Hitofude, which is a lace cardigan. I will have to pull who it's by next time. But if you remember correctly, I knit part of it and then I put it aside, and it is June and warm and, you know, in the 90s. And so I think it's time for me to finish a nice lacy cardigan so I can wear it for the summer. And like I said, I finished the upper section, so now I just have from like under the armpits down, so that should not take me that long. It is a lace pattern, but it really shouldn't take me that long, so my hope is maybe I'll finish that by the end of the month. So that is, but I hope to, my real plans before next weekend are have another whale done, and then have the other sock to this one done. So I am done with this pair. It will be my first pair for Sock It Summer, which is actually going on over in the Not a Podcast group. So if you are interested in knitting socks this summer, she always does that. There will be some prizes, and she's got all the rules over there. I think the rule is your socks have to be maybe 300 yards or at least 150 yards. I can't remember. She has some lower limits so that you can't just knit like 2 little baby socks and call them a pair. But she said you can double up. So for instance, if you knit like 3 pairs of baby socks and that totals 150 yards, then you can call that a pair. So my suspicion is that my pair will get me 1 entry, and I'll probably have to do 2 pairs of Roxy socks to get me an entry. But I was planning to do some of those anyway. So yeah. So those are my knitting plans for this week. I'm going to take a sip and let's go to spinning. Before I start spinning, we are about a month away from Tour de Fleece. If you are interested in spinning with us, please come join us. I started a team in the TDF group, and we have a team thread in the Corner of Knit and Tea Ravelry group. We are Team CKT for 2018, and join us with any or all spinning goals that you have. I've had a couple questions, or a couple people say they don't know how to do it, but they'd like to join. Tour de Fleece celebrates spinning. It runs concurrently with the Tour de France. This year's dates are July 7th to July 29th. The whole point of the tour is to set goals for yourself and spin. So there is nothing else to get. Everything else is extra. If you want to chat in a thread, if you want to share progress pictures every day, a lot of people do, and in the chatter thread I will be giving away prizes based on a random number generator draw from the posts. I usually give away a prize each week, and then at the end I give away a couple prizes out of a kind of finished spins thread, which I will set up at the end, where every participant gets 1 post. So basically, spin as much or as little as you want, participate as much or as little as you want, and your Tour de Fleece will be what you make of it. I generally drop most of my knitting for the 2.5-3 weeks that the tour goes on. Except for knit nights and maybe a little bit at lunchtime at work. I generally don't knit very much in July, and I focus all on spinning, and then I personally come home and watch the 2 to 3 hour recaps each day of the stages. I like watching them ride through France and seeing the scenery, and I have riders that I cheer for, but that is certainly not mandatory. That is just something I enjoy doing. It sort of screams summer to me. So anything you want. Maybe your goal is to spin 5 minutes a day. Maybe your goal is to finish your first braid, spindle, charka, supported spindle, wheel, anything you want to spin on, any fiber you want to spin, just do it. That would be a good slogan for someone, huh? So last week I showed you a braid of Hello Yarn in fall colorways. It is done. This is Struck Blind, and it has beautiful pinks and purples, oranges, and then some greens and yellows. It is a perfect fall skein. My guess is it's going to be a little over 300 yards, probably sport weight. It is a South American wool, which is Not super soft, but definitely, I mean, I could wear it next to the skin, and I have pretty special skin. It would make great socks because I think they'd hold up. They'd be super sturdy. It is not super wash, however, so you would have to hand wash those. But that will be going up in the shop this week if you are looking for a shot of fall colors. I decided to find something else to spin. So here's my dilemma. I have a lot of Hello Yarn fiber. I've been a member of her club for a while. I got double doses for a while. I've hit updates. But I try not to be a one-note spinner. That is, I try not to only spin Hello Yarn. So I've been trying to go back and forth between different dyers so that I can showcase some other dyers that I really like. Just for you to see something interesting, so it's not all Hello Yarn. And the other thing that I try to do is I try and go back and forth on colors, both because I like to stock the shop with lots of different colors and because I like to spin lots of different colors. So this was kind of a fall color palette. My next is a braid that I bought a couple of years ago from Into the World, and it is a dark and moody spin. This is a 50/50 merino bombic silk from Into the World, and it was part of the Southern Cross Fiber Discworld series. He did a he called it the Mega Sal, the Mega Spin Along, and he invited a bunch of different dyers to participate and create colorways based on the Discworld series. And this one is based on Quoth the Raven. So, or this one is called Quoth the Raven from the Discworld series books. I believe it has Death is a character in the books. He is a somewhat comical character. Of course, the Discworld books are kind of wry humor. Anyway, so this one is Quoth the Raven. It is turquoises, purples, plums, and then black. And so that is a moody spin. This will be for the shop. It will probably be a little more on the expensive side than my normal spins though, because this was a luxury fiber and was more expensive. I do remember that. So that is what I'm going to work on this week, and hopefully we'll come back to you with that all spun up next week. My guess is because it's got the silk in it, it will probably spin fairly thin, and it would probably make a really good moody shawl or cowl. So if these look like your colors, keep an eye out because that's what I will be working on this week. So I think that's about it. I have to start picking out what I want to spin for Tour de Fleece. I will pick that out and probably do a podcast about that right before we start. Trying to think of any other announcements or news. I don't think I have any. I hope you are enjoying your summer, or I suppose some of you where you watch it is winter and you are enjoying snuggling with woolly things. I'm enjoying creating woolly things, but I'm not wearing very many at this point because it is a little warm out. I hope you have a wonderful week, and until I see you again, I will say happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!